It was my senior year in college. I'm living in an old house off campus. There's 6 other guys on the top 3 floors. And me, I've got what you could barely call a basement all to myself. More of a cellar, really. And I'm not talking about your mom and dad's unfinished basement. Literally exposed dirt where the ridiculously thin concrete had chipped away. Now here's a picture, much younger, skinnier version of me in that basement. I loved it. There was finally enough room for all my recording gear and instruments, but the crowning achievement, the icing on the cake, the old Wurlitzer piano I rescued from ending up in the trash. I made my brother help me carry it down those old questionable wooden steps, and it would change the course of my music career over the next 5 years. I'm Andy Dolson, songwriter, creator, and guy who refuses to believe in the phrase has been. This channel is not only about rebuilding a music career from nothing right here on YouTube. It's about reconnecting with the creativity that I believe lives within all of us. Now, if that resonates with you, then subscribe, leave a comment. I want to hear your story. I'll Never Be was the first single to my first full-length solo album, 89. But it was almost the song that never was. If you've written songs before, I'm sure you've had this experience. You get a chorus or a verse seemingly out of nowhere, and then just as quickly as the inspiration hits, it fades right away. Yeah, I know. 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration. But no matter what you try, nothing lives up to the potential of that first great idea. Eventually, it gets filed away on some voice memos on your phone or scribbled in a notebook somewhere, buried deep on a hard drive. What I've learned, and this isn't true every time, is that if you keep hitting a wall while you're trying to finish a great idea, you might be forcing it to become something that it's not. I had a vision in my head for the song I'll Never Be from the moment the chorus lyrics and melody came to me, and it was very different from what it became. I had been playing in rock venues with a 3-piece band, so my writing and listening habits had drifted almost exclusively to the guitar. But having that beat up, slightly out of tune trash piano in my room meant that I started playing again like I hadn't in years. I don't remember the exact day or even why, but I do remember clearly sitting at the piano and figuring out how to play the chorus for that idea that was spinning around in my head. There may as well have been one of those cartoon light bulbs. It just worked in a way that I had never imagined. I didn't know it then, because it would be another year and a half before I even considered making the album. But that moment was a turning point, one that would quietly shape the next 5 years of my career. I ended up tracking the whole demo in that afternoon. The click track first, played the piano, the vocals, the guitars, even the drums. And despite my very rough drumming, 90% of what was on that original demo made it part for part into the final recording. So what's the takeaway? One man's trash is another's treasure? Sure, maybe. But I think it's more about perspective and not being afraid to let go of your original vision for something. Because if the core idea is great, maybe your vision is what's holding it back from what it could be. Are you a writer, a painter, a builder? What's your version of this story? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And if you want to hear the final version of I'll Never Be, the link should be popping up somewhere on the screen, but if it doesn't, it'll be pinned in the top of the comments. By the way, that piano, it's in our living room. Yeah, I can't get rid of that piano.